Welcome, everyone. Look, if you're a retail store owner or managing a physical business, you already know the deal. Protecting your location is literally protecting your livelihood. But let's be honest, the world of physical security can be totally overwhelming, right? It's just filled with endless gadgets, loud alarms, and honestly, a lot of noise. That's exactly why today we're skipping all the fluff. In this expert explainer, we're focusing entirely on one of the most robust, yet kind of misunderstood, methods of protecting your physical business: rolling shutters. We're going to break down exactly how they work, why they work, and how you can actually apply them to your own storefront.
Okay, let's just dive right in and address the elephant in the room. Can a piece of aluminum really stop a determined intruder? It's a completely fair question. And hey, if you share that skepticism, you are definitely not alone. I mean, when we think about stopping a highly motivated criminal, a rolling sheet of metal might just seem like, a minor speed bump. We often assume a crowbar or a heavy tool is all it takes to pop it open. But today, we're going to put that myth to the test and look at the actual mechanics of why storefront metal shutters are so highly recommended by the real security pros. I know your time as a business owner is incredibly valuable, so here's our quick roadmap for this consultative guide. We'll hit 1. The aluminum shield myth. 2. The psychology of deterrence. 3. A tangible physical barrier. 4. Styles for your storefront. And finally, 5. Customizing your security plan.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the aluminum shield myth, testing standard security assumptions. Think about the huge difference in approach between standard commercial security and actual physical barriers. Just consider how a standard glass break sensor functions. It is entirely reactive. It only triggers the alarm after the glass has been totally shattered, after the perimeter has been breached, and after the damage is already done. Heavy-duty rolling shutters, on the other hand, they provide a native, proactive layer of protection that invisible sensors simply cannot match. You're literally placing a physical, tangible shield between the threat and your vulnerable glass.
The commercial security experts at Affordable Security Shutters really hit the nail on the head here. They point out that these aren't just pieces of metal. They're a powerful tool against break-ins and vandalism, precisely because they operate on a dual defense mechanism. So the absolutely crucial point for us to understand is how both of these roles work together to fully protect your store.
And that brings us perfectly to Section 2, the psychology of deterrence, protecting the mind before the material. Before a criminal even lays a finger on your building, there's a whole calculation happening in their head. Psychological deterrence is simply using fear or perceived difficulty to discourage unwanted behaviors. It literally makes a potential intruder think twice before even attempting a crime. When someone walks up to your storefront late at night, you want their very first thought to be, wow, no way, this is going to be way too hard. The sheer imposing presence of a heavy-duty shutter alters that mindset completely and forces them to proactively avoid targeting your business in the first place.
And this brilliantly illustrates the core equation of retail crime. Time is a criminal's absolute worst enemy. It's a race against the clock. The more time it takes them to break into a business, the greater the risk of them being caught by the police or even just passing witnesses. When they look at a heavy-duty rolling shutter, they don't just see metal, they see a ticking clock. They know it takes far too long to penetrate, which means the risk is just way too high.
Let's see how this actually plays out in the real world. Think about a high-risk target, like a pharmacy. Pharmacies are incredibly attractive to thieves, right? Because of the value of what's inside. Step 1. The criminal targets the business. Step 2, they show up, ready to go, but they encounter heavy-duty rolling shutters. Step 3, boom. That psychological deterrence kicks right in. They realize they don't have the heavy tools, or more importantly, the time to penetrate that system quietly. So what happens in Step 4? They almost always just move on to an easier target down the street, someplace that just has standard glass and a basic alarm. The crime is literally stopped before a single window is even scratched.
But we do have to be realistic here, which brings us to Section 3, a tangible physical barrier, when deterrence isn't enough. We really have to ground ourselves in a stark fact. While absolutely no security measure on earth can prevent 100% of crime, the reality is that most break-ins occur when a business's windows or doors are breached. These are your soft spots. It sounds incredibly obvious, I know, but it reinforces exactly why securing these specific access points with something tangible is so absolutely critical. Simply put, if they can't get through the window or the door, they can't get your inventory. Take your local gas station as a perfect real-world example. Gas stations have those massive glass windows for visibility and high-traffic access doors that take an absolute beating day in and day out. By deploying rolling shutters over these exact openings, the gas station physically locks down its most vulnerable areas after hours. It creates a physical, robust layer of defense that drastically mitigates the risk of a quick smash and grab.
Now, I can definitely hear some of you store owners saying, okay, I want protection, but I really don't want my high-end boutique looking like a fortified military bunker. And that is totally fair. That takes us right to Section 4, Styles for your storefront. Balancing robust protection with retail aesthetics.
The good news is, locking down your store doesn't mean you have to sacrifice the carefully curated look of your window displays. You've got options. You've got your solid style. This is your traditional security. No natural light gets in, total lockdown. But look at the perforated and punched options. These are just brilliant for retail. A perforated shutter lets you protect a really expensive window display, but it remains entirely visible to shoppers walking by at night. They can still window shop perfectly safely, while your actual inventory remains securely locked behind metal.
So, how exactly do they achieve this balance? Well, it all comes down to the number 10. To give you a real idea of the manufacturing precision we're talking about here, these perforated security shutters typically feature precisely punched holes that are just 3 millimeters in size, with an average of 10 holes per centimeter. That incredibly tight density means the metal retains its immense structural integrity, enough to stop a bat or a crowbar, but the sheer volume of those tiny holes allows ambient light to pass right through, so your merchandise stays right in the spotlight even at 2 a.m.
All right, let's transition into our final consultative phase, Section 5. Customizing your security plan, tailoring the system to your exact location.
Since every single storefront is architecturally different, the hardware has to adapt to you. You've got a few easy choices to make. You can opt for manual operation if you've got smaller windows, or go for fully electric motors for massive storefront spans. For installation, the tracks and housing can actually be built directly into your facade for a totally seamless look, or they can be built onto the exterior of an existing structure. And depending on your specific risk profile, you can choose lightweight but super strong aluminum, heavy-duty steel, or even a combination of both to get the exact level of durability you need.
And beyond just the nuts and bolts of the hardware, remember this core point. You have the ultimate freedom to customize. You can pick colors and designs that perfectly align with your brand identity. Security absolutely does not have to be an eyesore. It can look like an intentional, premium part of your building's architecture, all while doing the heavy lifting of keeping the bad guys out.
So, the next practical step to turning all this advice into a real plan? Get a professional security assessment. As the Affordable Security Shutters team notes, an expert can come in, review your physical openings, assess the true risk level of your specific neighborhood, and look at your budget to recommend the exact right fit. You do not have to guess which shutter style or material is best. You can just rely on the data and their professional experience to guide you.
As we wrap up this explainer, I really want to leave you with a challenge. Take a walk outside your business today. Really look at your doors. Look at your massive display windows. What are the most vulnerable areas of your storefront right now? And more importantly, by relying only on a glass break sensor that triggers after the damage is already done, are you leaving your livelihood completely exposed to be the easy target tonight? Don't wait for a break-in to upgrade your mindset. Start evaluating your perimeter today and take control of your physical security. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and stay safe out there.